You know what? It's difficult to know how to feel after the game tonight. I think disappointment is definitely in there. Disappointment because of the fact that there was a chance we thought we'd get through because of that result in Lisbon, a 2-2 draw out on the Estadio de la Luz. Gives you every option, when you bring them back to Ibrox. We know what Ibrox is like on a Thursday night, on a European night, on a Europa night. There's a disappointment there. Of course there is. And it's right to feel disappointed because as you're a fan, you want your team to win every game. You want your team to progress in cups. And there is kind of like, obviously that is a disappointment. But there's kind of I don't know, there's a silver cloud to it. There's a silver cloud. No, there's a silver lining, even. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a silver lining to it. And what's the silver lining here, you ask? How is there a silver lining? It's the fact we've just been beaten at home in the Europa League and we're out of the Europa League. Well, this is the silver lining, is that there is no more, obviously, now Thursday, Sundays. So there'll be, a lot of weeks where we will have free midweeks. There won't be a game in that midweek. There'll be a chance, obviously, for Big Phil to rest players, to let the players get back to full fitness. There'll be that chance for Phil to work with them on the training ground. There won't be any of this, play a game, recovery, rest, play, recovery, rest, play. It will be, more chance for Big Phil to actually work with the squad, which, considering that I think for a lot of Rangers fans, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, the priority has always been the league this season and the cup. And yes, I think and I echo what I said on Club at 22 earlier, if this was the only thing we had to play for this season, I would be devastated and really gutted. Of course I would. But it's not. Realistically, we've still got the league. We've still got the cup. We've got every option and every chance to win both those and take away a domestic treble. And that's got to be our focus. I think tonight, you look at the team that played tonight, and that was the strongest lineup we've got. And I think it's again a case where injuries have finally started to catch up with us. Lack of match fitness with certain individuals, tiredness, fatigue. I think a lot of players were running on empty tonight. I really do. I think they just genuinely couldn't go any higher or any better or any to another level because they didn't have it tonight. It's, it was like they were in limp mode. When your car is on the verge of breaking down and it goes into limp mode and it's enough to get you to your home, but that's about it. That was kind of what some of the players were on, limp mode tonight. They kind of got through the game and that's what they did. You look at, let's have a look at the team that Big Phil selected for the Benfica game. And, Butland picks himself, did nothing wrong really in the game. Back four again picks itself at this moment in time with Balogun obviously not been in the European squad. Barisic been an embarrassment. That picks itself to have Goldson, Suter, Ridvan. I didn't think Ridvan was that bad tonight. I didn't think John Suter was that bad tonight. And I thought Tav first half was fairly decent. Midfield, Lundstram and Diamande. I thought both of them looked tired. I thought first half, especially, Lundstram had some real brain fart moments giving the ball away. There was one where he gave it away and they broke on us. And I think it was Connor Goldson and James Tavernier bailed their mate out with some blocks to stop Benfica from getting their shot clean on goal. Diamande, I thought, looked really, really tired tonight. I thought he was disappointing tonight. I've seen a lot of shit takes online about Diamande. People saying that he's one of the worst players we've signed. He's a terrible player, etc., etc. I think that's such an unfair judgment on him because, the lad hasn't played. When he signed for Rangers in January, he hadn't played since November. And he's just kind of getting his match fitness back now. And he played a lot of minutes in a very short space of time after playing a full season. So I think fatigue is playing a role. But, you look at the team and what other options did Big Phil have tonight to play there? You look at that bench. Well, Nicholas Raskin hasn't been in the best of form. Cole McKinnon's a very young player. Leon King can play there, but it's only known for the B team, which is not really at any level at all. Because in the B team haven't really played competitively. They've played more friendlies. Ryan Jack's not even on the bench tonight yet again. Ryan Jack, it's time for Ryan to go. I'm sorry. I love Ryan Jack to bits. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a top player, but he's just missing too many games now. So there's not really any other option other than Lundstram and Diamande. I mean, people said, play Cantwell as a 10 and drop Lawrence back there, but you're still going to have the same problem because I thought Lawrence was running on empty tonight and Cantwell's not match fit. Where are you going with that? Surprise was, of course, Scott Wright starting on the right-hand side. What does that say for the future of Rabbi Matondo? I know Rabbi's better on the left, but, Fabio Silva's done a great job on the left. But by that same token, Rabbi is meant to be an out-and-out winger. Although I suppose Phil has said he can also sees him as playing off the striker, which is interesting. But Rabbi, just gets on the bench, but looked poor when he came on, and I thought Scott Wright was poor. I thought Silva was marked out of the game. I thought they had a clear plan, and they really did nullify Fabio Silva tonight. Tom Lawrence looked tired. I think he's played a lot of minutes after coming back from injury. But again, what option was there? Cantwell. Well, Cantwell came off, didn't look great. Came on and didn't look great. He's not match fit. He's just come back from injury, etc., etc. Strikers, obviously, we're missing our first choice striker in Danilo. I know Danilo gets a lot of criticism from some of our fans, but Cyril Dessers yet again lets us down. Cyril Dessers tonight, I think for me, Dessers tonight shows why he is not a Rangers quality striker. Why, when the going gets tough, when it really genuinely matters, you cannot trust this man. You genuinely cannot trust this man. That chance, I think it was the second half that he gets blocked. He's got to score that. And top class striker, a real top class striker takes that chance. And that's the difference between him and a real out and out number 9. When the going gets tough, when you need him to step up for you, when you need him to stand up, when you need him to take that chance to score that goal that gives you the hope, that gives you the result you want, he lets you down. He misses, he bottles it, he does something stupid, he hangs on to it for too long, etc., etc. There was a chance in the first half as well that was well saved by Truban. That was when he was offside. What a surprise. I know he scored 12 goals in the SPFL, but you look at who he scored the goals against. And also, look, do you back him to do it against Celtic? At the end of the day, April the 7th, we go into their game with him up front. I've got absolutely no confidence that he will score and he will win us that game if the chance falls to him to win it. And the problem is, when you play at a higher level against teams like Benfica, and Benfica, don't get me wrong, Benfica are not a good European team. I think they'll go out if they get a decent team, if they get a Liverpool, a West Ham, a Bayer Leverkusen, someone like that in the next round, I think they'll be put out easily. I don't think they're one of the best 4 teams in the competition to go to the semi-finals. I really don't. And I'm not sour grape saying that. I genuinely don't think they're a good team. But Cyril Dessers, he is just not good enough. He is simply not good enough. And I know I'm going to get slaughtered by someone for this. Now, he scored 14 goals this year. Look at who he scored them against. He comes up with worldies when it doesn't matter. When it actually matters, when the pressure is on. He scored against Betis, yes, but that wasn't the pressure was on because nobody expected us to win that game. There was no pressure on us in that game whatsoever because nobody expected us to beat Betis. Nobody expected us to top that group. Everybody thought we'd be ending up in the Conference League, so don't even go there. When it actually matters, when the pressure is truly on him, he lets us down. He does not take those chances. And I hear this argument all the time. Oh, big Super Ali missed chances, big Mark. Yeah, they did at the start, but they had something else about them. They had a bit of, you could see a class about them. You can't see that with Dessers. You just can't. The lad's not good enough. He's just simply not good enough. And at the moment, he is the only option. That's why I think he's getting all the minutes, because there is nothing else. Fabio Silva's not an out-and-out 9. Danilo is out injured. Seema can play up there, but he's out injured. So there is realistically no option. And I think one of the things that really concerns me going forward is the lack of a real out-and-out 9. Now, we've probably got, with the midfield chipping in with goals, with Dessers scoring goals against teams that are pretty shit, you've probably got enough. We've got enough there to get by. We've got enough to beat the likes of Dundee, the likes of Hibs, the likes of Hearts, the likes of, Aberdeen, the likes of Ross County, whoever. We've got enough to beat them because they're shit, basically. They're not very good. But when it comes to games where the pressure is on, when you're playing against a better opponent, that's when you worry. And I think, the lack of a real out-and-out 9 is a problem. It is a genuine problem. The lack of a real finishing cutting edge in that final third is something that has been exposed a number of times now. It was exposed against Motherwell. They had a plan. It worked. It is exposed tonight again. And I think, part of it was that our creative players tonight, the Lawrences, the Silvers, etc., did have poor games tonight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting this over on Cyril Dessers and his miss. Tom Lawrence had a poor game tonight. Diamande had a poor game tonight. Fabio Silva had a poor game tonight. Scott Wright had a poor game, but Scott Wright always has a poor game. Camwell and Matondo weren't fit, couldn't affect the game when they came on. So look, I'm not putting it all on Cyril Dessers, but what I am saying here is when you are playing with that chance and you get the odd chance, and against top class European opposition, against that lot from across the city, you are not going to get the wealth and the weight of chances you get against the other members of the SPFL. You're not going to get the chances that you get against Hearts, against Hibs, against Aberdeen, against Dundee, against Ross County, against St Mirren, against Kilmarnock. You know, you get a weight of chances against those teams because we can dominate possession enough, we can create enough chances within the 90 minutes. You know, when you come to playing against that lot across the city, and yes, they're not a good team, but you still don't get the same number of chances you do against Aberdeen, against that lot. You do have to take the odd chance that is given to you. And I think the real lack of a number 9, the real lack of a cutting edge could actually cost us. And it does worry me going forward. And it does genuinely concern me. Look, I honestly hope that we can get someone back, or Kemar Roof stays fit. Personally, I would have played Roof tonight. I think, you know, that chance that Dessers misses falls to Roof. I think Roof buries it. I genuinely think Roof puts it in the back of the net because he is a finisher. Now, April the 7th against that lot from across the city, I would play Kemar Roof up front if he's fit. I don't think Danilo is going to be back. And if he is back, he's not going to be match fit. So, look, for me, you play Roof up front. Why do you play Roof up front? Because if the ball falls to Roof in the box, you know that 9 times out of 10, he's going to bury it. He's going to smash it in the back of the net. It falls to Cyril Dessers, it's 5 times out of 10 at very most. So he is a real worry for this team going forward. And I would really genuinely urge Philippe Clement and the board, Niels Koppen especially, to flog him as soon as they can at the end of the season and bring in a real, genuine number 9. He just is. I mean, look, nothing against him. He's a nice lad. He really is. But he's a shit centre forward. And that's the issue we've got. And he's not good enough. He simply is not good enough. Look, overall tonight, it was disappointing. That's the biggest word. The players were tired. They were running on empty. And now we focus on domestic issues. We focus on obviously trying to win the league, trying to win the cup, trying to be successful in those areas. Now, speaking of the Scottish Cup, there is, again, the SFA, just absolute bunch of just complete and utter jokers that are not fit for purpose. So the semi-final times and ticket allocations have now been confirmed. So the dates are set, the ticket allocations are given out, and it is just, again, the SFA are looking like a monkey fucking a football. They really do look stupid. So this is what has happened today. Now, Aberdeen requested a 50-50 split for their semi-final against Celtic. This has been denied. Celtic have been handed the majority of the tickets. Aberdeen handed 19,000. Now, remember that figure for me, 19,000. Now, Hearts and Rangers, however, have been handed the exact same number of tickets as each other. Why? Why do they get special treatment? Why do we get to be treated like everyone else? Okay, now, surely if you're going to say Hearts and Rangers, it's 50-50. Therefore, Celtic and Aberdeen, it needs to be 50-50. So I don't understand the difference there. I genuinely don't. So let's have a look at this. Now, the first game will take place at 12:30 on Saturday, the 20th. That is Celtic. So Celtic get the first go on the pitch. They get the first play at Hampden Park. The second game is a 3 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday, and that is Hearts versus Rangers. So we play on the Sunday at 3 p.m. Sunday, April the 21st. Now, Aberdeen said this post-announcement. They said the club requested the opportunity to sell up to 50% of the tickets, with any unsold tickets by the agreed date being allocated to our opponents, which in itself seems fair enough. Disappointing that this has once again been declined, based primarily on historical ticket sales at this stage of the competition. As a result, the Aberdeen allocation for this match will be up to 19,000 tickets, almost identical to the Viaplay Cup final in December, split between the South Stand and the West Stand, depending on demand. Okay, fair enough. So Hearts, this is the Hearts statement as well about the ticket allocation. Yesterday, the club put forward a proposal to secure an equal share of tickets, guaranteeing Hearts supporters the opportunity to purchase seats in Hampden's North Stand. We had to make an extremely strong case for our argument, given the size of our opponent's fan base and historic semi-final ticket sales, which, as we know, is huge. We are therefore extremely pleased to confirm that our proposition was accepted and both Hearts and Rangers will be given 21,000 tickets to sell to our respective supporters. We would like to thank the Scottish FA for their assistance in this process. This gives us the best opportunity to have Stephen Naismith and our players walk out onto a Hampden pitch to a sea of maroon spread out equally and fairly across the National Stadium. The door has now been opened for as many Hearts fans as possible to attend and hopefully have a special day out. Our condition of this agreement is that the club covers the cost of any unsold seats from our allocation, so it's in all our interests to sell out and give the team the level of backing the Hearts fans are famous for, which I find as an utter joke. Now, as I mentioned on the video the other day, their average attendance is somewhere around about 18,300. Ours is in excess of 49,000. Tonight against Benfica, we could have sold the ground out 3 to 4 times over. There was an allocation of tickets for 500. I think it was for the Hearts game. We could have sold 40,000. So to me, to split the tickets equally between Hearts and Rangers is an absolute joke. As you know, that Hearts will not sell 21,000 tickets. It will not happen. So therefore, there will be a lot of empty seats for a semi-final, which again is utterly ludicrous. The SFA are displaying a bias towards that lot from across the city. They are displaying a complete hatred of Rangers, a complete dislike of our club. Now, any common sense would look back on past semi-finals, look back on past finals, would look back on average attendances and see that there is absolutely zero sense in giving Hearts and Rangers the same number of tickets for a semi-final. When you've got one club that sells out its stadium, that has a 10-year waiting list for season tickets, that has an average attendance of over 49,000 against a team that 9 times out of 10 is playing in front of a half-empty stadium, that has an average attendance of 18,300 and doesn't always sell its ground out for the visit of the Old Firm. So why would you therefore split tickets equally? So to me, the SFA have again proven beyond reasonable doubt that they are absolutely unfit for purpose and just do not know how to run our national game. It is an utter disgrace. Neil Doncaster and the rest of his cronies that are in charge of the SFA need to step down. Need to step down and let people who actually know how to run a national organisation, how to run football, run the competitions that they run, and to run the SFA. Because at the moment they are making beyond a dog's dinner of it, beyond a pig's ear of it. They are an absolute laughingstock of world football. They genuinely are. Well, guys, let me know what you think of those ticket allocations. Well, thanks for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. Please smash that sub, ring that notification bell, and come and join the channel. Thanks for watching. And on the way out, if you can do 2 things for me. Number 1, does he smash the like? And number 2, remember always, we are the people.